All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel. At the end of December, I shared this content plan with you. This is my general plan for all of my social media channels moving into 2023. So on TikTok, I intend to post twice a day, 7 days a week, and try to go live at least 3 times a week. On YouTube Shorts, I'm going to be posting 1 to 2 times a day, 7 days a week. On YouTube, I'll be posting at least 1 video per week. On Instagram Reels, we have 1 reel per day, 5 days a week, so Monday through Friday. I intend to post 1 to 2 carousel posts on Instagram per week and post to my stories every single day, Monday through Friday, with the occasional fun posts on weekends. And today I want to go over what exactly has transpired since then, because a lot has changed. First, if you haven't already, I would recommend you go ahead and watch that video if you haven't already, because I do think there is a lot of value in the ideas that are shared. And while my actual plan has changed since then, a lot of the concepts are things that I still practice to this day, so I will have it linked right up here, and you can also find it in the description of this video. So while that strategy was well intended and it really fit in line with what my goals were at the beginning of the year, obviously things have changed, stuff has come up, and my plans have shifted as the last 2 months have transpired. So I thought it was important to make this video and discuss what some of those changes are, why some of those changes are, and what this means for you and your content strategy. And if you don't care to hear about me and my life and my business, you can go ahead and just skip to the part that is all about the strategy. Otherwise, we're gonna stick around and get into it. So initially at the beginning of 2023, I was kind of just rolling over my strategy at the end of 2022 into the new year. I was really doubling my focus on TikTok. I really wanted to try and continue to grow that community. As well, I was looking at slowly growing my Instagram, and then obviously I started creating content here on YouTube and was gaining a little bit of traction, so I was excited to see where that was going to take me. And so as you would have seen in the clip that I shared at the beginning of this video, my content strategy back at the end of December, beginning of January really reflected those goals. I was posting 14 times a week on TikTok, 5 days a week on Instagram, daily on stories. I was posting here on YouTube Shorts every day, and then 1 to 2 long form videos here on YouTube. And for the record, I still haven't got around to posting any carousels on Instagram, although it is still in my plan to one day, maybe eventually, get around to doing that. We'll just add it to my list of good intentions, okay? So I was kind of sticking to that strategy, and then around mid-January, early February, things really took a shift, and I'm going to just give you a little bit of context and explanation as to why that is. Okay, so first things first, completely transparent here. I haven't really talked about this on the internet, but I was actually sought out by a tech company back in mid-January. I know, the tech industry is crumbling, but essentially what happened was a tech company approached me saying that they were looking for a content marketing specialist, and they wanted to know if I was interested in a role at their company. Now, for context, I closed up a lot of my client work near the end of 2022, and I've kind of been in like this weird limbo phase, or at least I was during that time period. I was feeling a little bit burnt out in my business, and I was kind of just open to whatever opportunities presented themselves. And to be quite frank, this seemed like a really cool opportunity. It had flexible work hours, the compensation was fair, and it looked like it was going to fit really well into both my professional skill set as well as the lifestyle that I enjoy living. And so for the period of about 3 weeks, I was moving through multiple different conversations with people at the company, interviews, that kind of thing. And that was kind of mid-January to early February. And so in that time period, because all of that was going on and I was thinking like I might be going back to work, I started to scale back a lot of the content that I was posting. Because basically my thought process was, if I'm going to be going back to work or working for someone else, I don't want to be building this massive client load that I'm either going to have to then dump or try and do both simultaneously and end up burning myself out. So basically I just scaled my strategy back for a bit and was kind of just riding it out, waiting to see what happened. And so all that to say, there was a lot of back and forth, and then eventually the company decided they wanted to move in a different direction, which is really a blessing because lots of unexpected things have happened since then. So let's fast forward to early February and my YouTube strategy. If you're new to my corner of the internet, hello. If you've been here a while, thank you so much for being here. Now, to those of you that have been here a while, you've probably noticed a shift in my volume and style of content recently. Now, my personal goal has always been to make small business ownership as accessible to as many people as possible. And so while I create weekly long form small business content like this video here on YouTube, I've recently really been focusing on the anti-scam, anti-business coaching content, which you may or may not have noticed. And if I'm being completely honest, this is because this is the type of content that I enjoy consuming. I've been a huge anti-scam content consumer for years now. And also the algorithm loves it. My subscribers love it, and I seem to be getting a pretty good return on investing my time into creating that kind of content. So I'll get into exactly what that looks like in a little bit. I just kind of wanted to give some context. Basically, a few weeks ago, I posted this video here about the Jessie Lee Ward Columbia trip saga, fiasco, whatever you want to call it. I'll link it here if you want to watch it, but basically what happened was things on my channel really started to shift after I posted that video. I mean, in the last 2 weeks alone, I've grown my channel from this to this. So needless to say, it's been a lot. Now, all that to say, you probably clicked on this video because you want to know my strategy, but more importantly, you want to know what this means about your strategy and your business. Perfect. Let's get into it. Now, I said this in the first video that I posted back in December, and I'm going to say it again, but experimentation is absolutely everything. Whether your goal on social media is to build a business, build a personal brand, or build something else altogether, you cannot have an effective content strategy and you will not see growth unless you are willing to get out there and experiment with different types of content, different styles of content, different content in general. Because what worked before might not work forever, and things that are working for other people may or may not work for you. And so being in this place where you are willing to pivot and constantly try out different things is going to be the key in enabling you to build a solid strategy going forward. Now, in the last video that I posted about this, I did break down my strategy platform by platform, and I intend to do that again with this video. Now, I do not want to be redundant, that being said, so some of the concepts like how to generate content ideas, for example, that I covered in that video, I'm not going to be covering in this video. So again, if you haven't watched that video, it is linked in the description. I would urge you to go and watch it first. Okay, so first up, let's go ahead and talk about TikTok. In my original video back in December, I shared that I was going to be posting twice a day on TikTok and going live regularly. And what that has since turned into is 7 posts a day. 7 posts a day, can you imagine? 1 post a day, 7 days a week, and then going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific. So I've really scaled that content back. Now, the reason this has happened is A, because of the amount of time that it takes to create 14 videos a week when my priorities have shifted. And B, it's really about me allocating my time where I am seeing the highest return. For example, near the end of last year, I was going live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, every day at noon. It was great. I love live video. I love the ability to intimately connect with my audience, feel like I'm getting to know people, allow people the opportunity to get to know me. But ultimately, at the end of the day, that wasn't translating into the bottom line of my business. And as business owners, it's really important that we are aware of the things that help us to make money. And so while I am a huge fan of creating connection, building community, ultimately, at the end of the day, we can't be spending all of our time doing things that aren't going to contribute to us actually growing the business side of our business. And so in my specific niche and area, it just turned out that live video wasn't converting as well. And I still enjoy it. That's why I still do it 3 days a week, but I'm not using it as a primary way to grow my business. And this might not be true for you and your niche. That's why I always encourage people to experiment and see what works for them. Now, aside from the point I made about not wanting to make 14 videos a week because it takes so much time, that also relates back to my bottom line. So I recently had someone ask me on my video how TikTok is converting for me in my business. And if I think back to like 2021, early 2022, things were going really well and my TikTok was converting into paying clients in my business. And while some people still continue to have that wild success on TikTok, it simply has shifted for me over time. And that's why I think as business owners, it's really important that we're paying close attention to where the sales in our business are coming from. You know, when I used to have my yoga business, I would constantly be asking people who booked services with me, where did you find me? Was it on Google? Was it my website? Did someone refer you? I want to know where those leads are coming from. And the same goes with an online business. And so what I've seen over the past 6 months or so is that my email list continues to grow through TikTok, but I'm not really converting at the same rate as I used to. Instead, what's happening is some of those people who are like diehard followers, appreciate you, are transitioning over to Instagram, and that's where I'm able to really nurture those relationships and then convert people into a sale. And again, I think that's just the nature of these applications. TikTok is very much, you pick up your phone and you're swiping, you're not really connecting with people. Whereas Instagram offers that more intimate opportunity to really feel like you get to know people. But again, that's just my experience and yours might be totally different. If you've had a completely different experience, I would love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. So one thing I have noticed with posting less frequently on TikTok is that I'm able to be a lot more intentional with what I do post each day. And generally speaking, that content has been performing a lot better than it was kind of end of December when all of our views were just like sort of tanking. So I'm actually able to reach more people and specifically the right people, and I'm doing it in less time, which is great. So for now, that's what I'm going to be sticking with. So not to be annoying and continuously nag you to go watch this video, but if you haven't watched the December video, if you go to that video and you click under the TikTok chapter, I'm going to walk you through the actual content strategy I use to come up with those content ideas. I don't really want to repeat myself, so if that's something you're interested in learning, go to that video and then just skip ahead to the TikTok chapter. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about Instagram. Now, this one has been a little bit tricky for me lately because Instagram is kind of this place where I share a lot of the same or similar content that I share on TikTok. It's also mixed in with a little bit more like lifestyle-ish content. But then it also touches on a little bit of like the anti-scam / business coaching stuff that I talk about here on YouTube. Because as my YouTube channel has started to grow, I've also noticed that some of those people are like trickling over into Instagram. Because again, Instagram is this place where we can talk to each other and hang out and feel like we get to know somebody. So fully transparent, it's been a little bit of a dance trying to figure out what that's going to look like moving forward. But all that to say, I have been pretty good at sticking to my initial intention that I shared in the original video, which is 5 reels a week. So 1 reel every day, Monday through Friday. I miss some days here and there, but mostly I'm just repurposing content from TikTok and posting it on Instagram. And it's been doing pretty well. Relatively speaking, that is. The algorithm on Instagram is just, ugh. And what I have been really focusing on, though, honestly, is just doubling down on my Instagram story strategy. I have been trying, emphasis on the word try, because I don't do it all the time, to talk more about how people can work with me. So obviously, I continue to use stories every single morning to connect and engage with my audience, like this one right here, where I post my daily to-do list and then ask people what their mood is for the day. And these do really well because people enjoy engaging in that kind of content. Now, I have really wanted to, in this new year, focus on selling on stories. Because the reality is, no matter how much we know about our business, most people don't really care or they don't really know as much as we think they know. We often give people too much credit and assume that if we sell this thing, everyone's going to know what it is that we sell and how they can work with us. But that's simply not the reality. So I've really been trying this year to be more intentional about consistently, maybe not every day, but a few times a week at least, showing up and talking about who I am, why I'm an authority in that space, and how people can work with me. And quite honestly, it's been working pretty well for me, and I've consistently been making sales and generating new conversations, so leads, through this strategy. Now, with all that being said, and I kind of talked about this in the intro, I do still want to utilize carousels more in my posting strategy, which I haven't done up to this point, but it is an intention of mine coming into the next few months. And as I say that, I'm thinking maybe I can get ChatGPT to help me out with that. Needless to say, my actual feed content strategy going forward is to continue to just share small business tips, funny little small business humor pieces, and nurture that part of the audience that is in my community for small business related content. Whereas I see my stories as an opportunity to kind of move a little bit more around all over the place. So I'm giving people the chance to get to know me. I'm also showing them the behind the scenes of running my business and creating my content, as well as sharing projects and work related things that I'm doing. I'm actually considering making a video here on YouTube. You can let me know if this would be interesting, all about the different types of stories that you can post. So whether or not you realize it, stories aren't just simply picking up your phone and talking to it. I mean, it is for some people, but if you're coming at it from a business perspective, there are actually different types of stories you should be posting to nurture your audience, build community, sell your offers, etc. And so if you want me to make a video that kind of explains that process and what each of those types of stories look like, please let me know in the comments down below. Okay, lastly, let's talk about YouTube. This has been the biggest catalyst and reason for me shifting my entire content strategy, if that hasn't already become obvious enough. I absolutely love making long form content, and I've been doing it in some capacity since I was like 12 years old. It has quite literally been a dream of mine forever to have a YouTube channel, but I always managed to like talk myself out of it, saying that I was too late to the game, it wasn't gonna happen for me, or that I would just never be successful if I tried. And I know that all sounds cliche, you know the story like, oh, it's great for that person, but it's never gonna happen for me. But that's genuinely how I felt. And I believe in the last content video I did at the end of December, I shared that my goal for 2023 was to monetize my YouTube channel by the end of the year. But in early February, all of that shifted very quickly. I actually 10x'd my watch time hours. My follower count nearly doubled, and I am so close to reaching 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much if you are subscribed to my channel, and if you are not, you should definitely think about hitting that subscribe button. And so that goal of monetization by December actually seems like it could be something that realistically could happen by spring. And so in order to do that, what I've been doing is really doubling down on my content strategy here on YouTube. Remember, I say this in pretty much every video I do that talks about social media. The whole point of creating a social media strategy is to try different things, figure out what works, and then really commit to the thing that's working. So essentially what I've been doing now is taking all of the spare time that I have and really just focusing on pumping out as much high quality content as I can. Keep in mind, making YouTube videos takes a lot of frickin' time. And so my goal for this period of time right now is to, again, create good quality content consistently and really work on building up those watch time hours and continuing to grow my subscriber count. And again, I want to give a big thank you to all of you who are subscribed to my channel. It means so much to me. And the community here on YouTube is it just hits different than the other platforms. Now, that being said, I also think it's important that we talk about YouTube Shorts, because in my original video, I talked about primarily utilizing YouTube Shorts as a means of growing my YouTube channel. And while yes, I still gain subscribers, like I mentioned in that video, consistently through YouTube Shorts, obviously, with this sort of shift in my long form content, I'm seeing that growth elsewhere as well now. I will say that my YouTube Shorts strategy is basically the same though. So I'm taking any TikTok content that's less than 60 seconds, using an app like Snaptic or Musical Down, downloading it, and then re-uploading it to my YouTube Shorts feed. But because my TikTok strategy has become a lot smaller now, I don't have as much content to choose from. And because the content here on YouTube has like shifted from solely business content to like this anti-scam content as well, I've been having a lot of success using the remix feature here on YouTube, as well as using that TikTok content. So kind of doing like a mix 50-50 of each. I actually made a whole video on how to use YouTube Shorts to grow your business. If you want to watch it, you can just click right here. All that to say, my general strategy here on YouTube is now to post as many long form videos as I can manage right now, which lately has been 5 videos a week, Monday through Friday. But I think realistically moving forward, it'll probably look something more like 3 times a week. Fridays will always be small business, at least for now. And I'm trying to make those videos anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes so I can really contribute to that watch time hour mark. I've said it before, but honestly, I just really love YouTube. And if you're someone who's considering starting or growing a YouTube channel in 2023, I think that now is the perfect opportunity to do so. Pay attention to what's going on in your niche, pay attention to the topics of interest, and don't be afraid to jump in and add your insight and thoughts on whatever's happening, because that's exactly what I did. And if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have seen this growth. And I am so grateful that it worked out for me. If you are someone who's subscribed to my channel, I would love to hear in the comments how long you've been here for. And again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this community. I am so grateful. Okay, once again, I feel like this was a lot. So congrats on making it this far in the video. And honestly, I could probably make this video again in another 2 months and it's going to be something entirely different. As a quick summary of what I'm going to be posting and where, I will just pop it up on the screen here. So if you want to read it, you can just hit pause. I really just want to see consistent growth and engagement across all of my platforms. Hopefully that will lead to me welcoming in a few more private clients, but my primary focus, at least for the next couple of months, is really going to be creating, nurturing, and growing my community here on YouTube. So stay tuned for the monetization content that is going to come once that finally happens. There are no secrets here. All right, friends, if I can leave you with any parting advice as we come to the end of this video, it would be to pay attention to your analytics. Stop creating content that isn't working. Don't be afraid to try new things. See what's working for other creators and just add a little spice. Ask me any questions you have in the comments below. I will also link my Stand store in the comments, which gives you an idea of how you can work with me if you are interested. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, where I share daily small business advice with no cost. I'm not gatekeeping anything around here. Stay real, stay fresh, take care, comb your hair, and I'm going to leave you with this video right here next.